You are being watched right now, not by a person, but by a machine that can track your face, your movement, and decide if you even belong there. On India's borders, artificial intelligence is becoming the new eyes of the state. It promises to stop terrorists before they cross a line on a map. But here's the thing nobody wants to talk about. The same system that guards the border could become the most powerful surveillance machine ever built. So is this India's greatest security upgrade, or the start of a surveillance nightmare? Welcome to Limitless Tomorrow. Right now, somewhere on the vast, rugged expanse of the India-Pakistan border, a camera is tracking a figure moving through the darkness. It's analyzing their gait, their shape, maybe even their face, against a database of millions. This observer isn't a soldier. It's an artificial intelligence, and it is making a decision. This is the new reality of border security. Smart fences, autonomous drones, and all-seeing AI. For a nation like India, which shares more than 15,000 kilometers of land borders with 7 countries, including rivals Pakistan and China, this technology promises a revolution in defense. It's presented as the answer to a problem written in conflict. But if you build a machine to watch your enemies, what stops it from turning its gaze on you? To understand why India is pouring money into AI at its borders, you have to understand the borders themselves. This isn't just about lines on a map. These are some of the most hostile terrains on Earth. The scorching deserts of Rajasthan, the riverine deltas of Bengal, and the frozen peaks of the Himalayas. In places like this, physical fences and human patrols hit their limits. For decades, these borders have been conduits for terrorism, human trafficking, and the smuggling of narcotics and weapons. Infiltration is a constant threat that has cost countless lives. The Border Security Force is always on high alert, but the scale of the challenge is enormous. So India is moving beyond the old model of boots on the ground and barbed wire. The goal is a digital fortress, an electronic barrier that is everywhere at once. At the center of this is the Comprehensive Integrated Border Management System, or CIBMS. It's not a single gadget, but a network, an ecosystem of sensors, cameras, and drones designed to create total situational awareness. Think of it as a central nervous system for the border, processing information from thousands of electronic eyes and ears in real time. This digital fortress is built in layers. It starts with the ground. Smart fencing is laced with fiber optic cables that can feel vibrations, while seismic sensors buried underground listen for movement. These systems are tuned to tell the difference between an animal and a human, cutting down on false alarms that used to waste time and resources. Then come the eyes. High-resolution cameras, thermal imagers, and infrared systems provide a constant feed day and night. No human could watch all those screens at once, so AI steps in. Machine learning models are trained to spot objects, a person, a vehicle, a low-flying drone, and instantly flag them for operators. In some high-risk zones, facial recognition scans faces against watch lists of criminals or suspected terrorists. Above all this, AI-enabled drones patrol the sky. In exercises, the military has tested swarms of dozens of drones working in coordination to cover remote areas. Some are simple surveillance platforms, others are being developed as loitering munitions, drones that can circle above a target and then strike. All of this data, from fences, cameras, sensors, and drones, flows into central command and control centers. There, AI analytics helps human officers make sense of the chaos, predicting likely infiltration routes, prioritizing threats, and helping coordinate a rapid response. On paper, it's a massive technological leap that India sees as essential to its national security. The main argument for this system is simple: protect soldiers and civilians. Automated surveillance means fewer troops standing in exposed forward posts, in minefields, or on freezing ridgelines. The machine takes the first risk so the human doesn't have to. And unlike a human, an AI doesn't get tired, doesn't blink, and doesn't look away at 3 a.m. It can monitor thousands of data points at once, 24/7. The Indian military has already claimed that AI-driven systems helped identify targets with high accuracy in some cross-border operations. There's also a bigger strategic picture. India is in a technological race with its neighbors, especially China, which is investing heavily in military AI and surveillance. Falling behind doesn't just mean weaker borders, it means strategic vulnerability. So the official story is one of progress and protection: smarter tech, fewer casualties, a stronger nation. It's a compelling argument. But zoom in from the satellite view for a second. Imagine you're a 22-year-old BSF Jawan, standing on a freezing post at 3 a.m., staring into the dark. If an AI system can spot an infiltrator before you do, that might be the difference between you going home on leave or your family getting a folded flag. For people on the front line, this technology isn't abstract. It can feel like a lifeline. But that's only half the story. This is where the promise of security blurs into the reality of mass surveillance. The tools built to catch terrorists are, fundamentally, tools to watch people. History shows that once a state acquires powerful surveillance systems, it rarely limits them to the original mission. This is called mission creep. Something introduced at the border slowly moves inward, into cities and everyday life. The biggest red flag is facial recognition. While its use on the border is still developing, inside India, it's expanding fast. Cities like Delhi and Hyderabad already use facial recognition for policing. In some reported cases, police have stopped people on the street to take their photos and feed them into databases, often without a clear legal framework. In Kashmir, a heavily militarized region, AI-powered cameras scan crowds in public spaces under the banner of preventing attacks. Recently, police in Jammu and Kashmir announced they had used such a system to identify and apprehend a terror suspect near a major pilgrimage route. It's framed as a security success, but it also shows how deeply this technology can monitor ordinary movement. Now flip the perspective. Imagine you're an ordinary student in Srinagar walking to class. You pass 3 different cameras on your route, each linked to a system you can't see, logging movements you never agreed to share. You haven't done anything wrong. But the feeling of being watched changes how you speak, how you protest, even what you post online. All of this is happening in what many describe as a legal gray zone. India's Digital Personal Data Protection Act of 2023 gives the government broad exemptions, allowing personal data to be processed without consent for reasons like national security or public order. Who exactly controls the data being collected? How long is it stored? Who audits misuse, leaks, or hacks? Clear answers are hard to find, and the technology itself is not neutral. Global studies have shown that facial recognition systems are significantly less accurate for women and people with darker skin. One famous study found error rates as high as 34.7% for dark-skinned women, compared to under 1% for light-skinned men. At a border, that kind of error could mean harassment or worse. In a domestic setting, it could mean a wrongful arrest or the quiet targeting of political opponents. An AI doesn't understand context. It only sees patterns. And the patterns it's trained to see can be biased, opaque, and incredibly hard to challenge. So we're left with a paradox. India's AI border is a double-edged sword. On one side is a vision of safety, a nation shielded from external threats by a tireless digital guardian. Fewer soldiers dying in remote outposts, faster, more precise responses to real dangers. On the other side is a very different vision, a surveillance machine, born on the border but slowly creeping into every corner of society. A system that can watch not just terrorists, but protesters, activists, anyone the state decides is a person of interest. A future where privacy is a relic and every citizen is a potential suspect. Is this a necessary security upgrade or the beginning of a surveillance nightmare? Right now it's both. It's a tool, and its impact will depend on the laws we write, the oversight we demand, and the choices made by those who control it. Public debate and judicial scrutiny will decide whether this technology serves people or controls them. For now, the focus is on security. But the architecture of mass surveillance is quietly being built in the background. And once that machine is fully assembled, it will be very, very difficult to turn off. So that's India's new AI border, sold as security, built on data, and already changing what normal looks like. If you want to see how far this can go, watch my deep dive on China's $28 billion AI war. I'll link it on screen and in the description. In 10 years, will we look back at this as the moment India became safer, or the moment mass surveillance became normal? What side do you think we're on right now, and why? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this gave you a different way to see what's happening at the border, hit like. And if you want to understand the systems that will control your money, your data, and your freedom over the next decade, subscribe. Thanks for watching Limitless tomorrow. I'll see you in the next one.